there! Join us today on Transportation Talk. Jason and I talk about parks and trails and how they keep our communities healthy. Wow, Jason, it's time for another Transportation Talk. I'm so glad you made it. It looks like you were just someplace else. What's up?
Yeah, riding my bike, commuting back and forth. I have made a dedicated decision. I have challenged myself to commute back and forth to work more than I ever have. And it's working out, but sometimes I tend to forget to take off my trusty helmets. Everybody wear helmets when you ride your bicycles. Is really important, okay? Get knocked off your bike, you want to have something to protect that head of yours.
Yes, protect that eggshell noggin. You got to.
Yeah, definitely. How you doing, Kathy? It's been a wonderful week. It's been a busy week, of course, right? We're always challenged like that to, everything that we do here in our individual jobs and all that kind of stuff always works towards also producing the show, which is a real nice opportunity just to put everything else aside and just talk transit with my favorite transit person. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And like you said, the weather's changing, things are shifting and happening. We're getting out a little bit more. You might be seeing us at farmers markets. And so it takes a little bit more to figure out how to slot these shows in and get here because we love doing it so much. And this is such a great way to reach out and kind of summarize what we think of and what's going on and maybe what people are asking us during the week. Yeah, and so we're doing part 2 of our parks and trails conversation, right, Jason?
Yeah, and now we get to talk about actually probably one of the most important parts to that is, why is it important that we're getting everybody out of cars and into public transportation? Is because of the environmental impact, really. Of what's happening. I see that when I ride my bicycle every day. Okay. There are times even in our rural area that we have when I'm in traffic and I'm out there, I have the windows are rolled up. Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, that's not to say anybody in that really nice Beamer over there is, that's a nice car. Yes. But I'm telling you, it just does get to you and
it adds really up. That's the thing.
It does add up. Yes, it does. Typically at the end of the week, there are times where I feel like, oh my gosh, I just rode through all that, that and pollen. Pollen's a real thing to run through.
Oh my gosh.
It is what it is.
We're not going to fix that by you being out there walking and biking or us encouraging you to do that. But if we get more people out there walking and biking and using transit, it does add up the other way around too. We can all make a difference in reducing congestion and greenhouse gas emissions.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Congestion. Congestion obviously moves towards greenhouse emissions and everything, and it's not good. It's not good for a variety of things. And when I ride, I love it. Sometimes during busy Fridays when I'm riding around and stuff in downtown Warrenton, of all places, sometimes it's really neat. I pass by all the cars and I usually get right up to the front while there's 10 of them, what do they say in Europe, queuing up behind me. But there is a lot of congestion, and it's got to be frustrating, especially as we get into this time of year, right? When there's more people coming into town. No parking spaces. It just fills up your community, really not in the good way. And so hopefully we can get more people into those public transportation options.
Right. And so that congestion, tis the season for congestion out here on the coast. And so there's all different groups that are trying to address congestion and lack of parking and all of the different concerns that affect our environment out here. And that is kind of part of our job, not just kind of, it is a big part of my job is to get people out of single occupancy vehicles. And so there's different organizations that are coming at it from different angles, and there are new things out there that have been released to encourage people to visit our area without their cars. But we're here to tell you that if you live here in our area, you can get around without your car too, and
Absolutely.
going and walking your parks and your trails benefits our environment. It reduces the pollution in the air and increases the amount of fresh air you get to take in.
Yeah, that is really, really cool when you really look at what our transportation network has and how you get around not only by bus, but I tell you, we encourage people to take their bicycles out there because all of our buses have bike racks on them. So you can
Mm-hmm.
use your bike for part of the trip, and then you can put the bike on the bus if you get too tired, or you just don't want to ride your bike for whatever reason, you can put that on the bus. We have a lot of different ways that you can get around here in Clatsop County that don't include a single occupancy vehicle. So I think that's really cool that we have those options, and that, Kathy, you get to have, I think, a lot of fun in attempting and trying to develop even further options, right?
Absolutely. One day I'd love us all to have hoverboards around here,
That
right?
would be great. Yes, please do. Make that a priority, please. I'll help you write the grant. But
So,
yeah.
all kidding aside, we've got another great video for you, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it.
So, you've learned that a trail system connecting most of the parks in your community is important to community health. Now, let's learn how important the parks themselves are. Usually, the major difference between a rural park versus an urban park is the access to public transportation. People in our community are more scattered about, further away on average, to a park than people that live in most urban locations. In our community, though, because of our robust and growing trails, we can walk, bike, or roll to our nearest park without having to take a car. In most cases, a 5 to 10 minute walk can get you to the nearest bus stop where you can catch a bus to your favorite park near you. Public transit and other transportation options can be a great benefit to a community wanting to get outside and play at a park. We know that physical activity can help prevent most physical and mental health issues. Parks provide just the right amount of encouragement to get outside, have fun, and stay active and keep you healthy. A stronger local economy and more job opportunities are common in most areas where parks are located with robust trail connectivity. Parks are a great way to keep your community strong and vibrant, just like our local parks here in Clatsop County. As more people choose to call Clatsop County home, concerns about traffic congestion, finding parking spaces, and increased traffic-related accidents are valid. Parks and the public transportation connecting them are not just a great solution to some of our concerns, but are required for a healthy community. Whether you're at the Garden of Surging Waves in Astoria, the Warrenton City Park, or the Eldon C. Goodwin Park in Seaside, get out there, walk, ride, roll, or catch a bus to a trail park near you and enjoy your community.
Some of our parks have been around for a long time. Some of them are newer. The point is, there's lots of great parks around. Some of them are more natural. Some of them have history lessons. While you're out there enjoying the parks, during your time off, you might discover that you can work a trail into your commute. That way, your commute is actually contributing to a healthier lifestyle. In our region, our parks are full of history, both of the people that came before us and of the natural beauty around us.
What a great video, Jason. I always learn so much from our little video snippets that come between us talking. It's so
Yeah.
valuable. We've talked about all different aspects of why paths and trails, and I think that we missed one. I think we missed why parks and trails, because walking and biking on parks and trails keeps you safer.
Oh, it does. It does when you really kind of think about it, right?
Yeah,
And sometimes, how does it keep you safer? That is sometimes something I don't get. I don't understand all the time. I mean, really, I can kind of see it. It's off the beaten path, right? It's further away from the roads. Usually, how you got there is a really good indication of how much safer it was. I don't know. Am I on the right track with that?
you are actually exactly on the right path.
Good.
So
there we go. Path, not track.
yes,
Good.
you are right on the right path. And so it keeps you safer because you walking or biking or rolling in whichever way on a path in a park keeps you out of your single occupancy vehicle. And it keeps you further away from them. It helps reduce the amount of cars on the road. And that number, the lower we get it, the lower the chances of having a car crash or some sort of car related incident is concerned. Because a person versus a car, or a car versus a car, or a car versus some sort of freight vehicle, the chances of you being injured are really high. But if you're walking or biking or rolling in whichever form, the chances of you having an incident where you're going to get seriously injured if you're wearing your proper protection devices are much lower.
Absolutely. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, Kathy, it is a lot safer, especially when you take advantage of protected bike lanes. I know that I am always searching for those, because what that does, it gets me away from traffic on my bicycle. I can get into a protected bike lane, or sometimes if I'm riding in an area where there is a park or something maybe, and there's more of a protected avenue to be able to take for at least a mile of the road that I'm traveling on, I'll usually take that because it helps protect me against traffic. So, and you know, and looking at that, it really does show me that it is important to help people understand that getting out of those single occupancy vehicles and in using public transportation and the transportation options that we have shown people over the past is so important to that safety aspect of things. It's really good that we're talking about that.
Yeah, less congestion means less stress, means less road rage, means it's just better for everybody around. And you know, we've talked about this before on other shows. Stress and congestion and all of the effects on your psyche and your physical body are also safety concerns, because those lead to chronic diseases and illnesses. And so, once again, walking and biking, paths and parks are good for you, for your health, for your safety. You know, let's recap a little bit the things that we've talked about and why we've been taught, you and I, are talking about parks and trails.
Yeah, why is that so important to what we talked about, our transportation portfolio? How does parks and trails enter into that? Well, you have to get there. We have to provide access to people. If we're trying to convince people and show them that parks and trails are really a great way to get out to see your community and embetters the environment and so forth, get you out of the single occupancy vehicle and helps keep you safer, well, we need to ensure that people understand that there is a way to get there.
There's a way to get there. There's a way to get around. Parks and trails can connect your community, and they give you a perfect opportunity to keep your own personal gears, you know, oiled and keep you moving, keep that blood flowing. The longer you stay active, the longer you stay active.
Yeah, that's true. You know, when I ride my bicycle, I have to be honest, when I get to work, you might think that you'd be really tired, and true, there are some times where it's pretty tiring to ride to work, especially you know, in some cases the 11 or 12 miles I have to early in the morning. But usually that workout, that exercise that I did to get here and everything has helped me become more, what do you want to call it, more sharper in what I'm doing. Maybe not right now, but usually early in the mornings, it definitely helps me become a little sharper because I've gotten that blood pumping. I've gotten that, you know, out in nature, breathing in the fresh air and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that really helps out in the safety aspect for me. Helps me become more sharper.
And we'll just tie that right back into a whole nother show that we've done before, and another thing that you've heard us talking about before, and that's walking school buses. If it's good for kids to get out and walk to school in walking school buses or home from school using walking school buses, there's a really good reason. And that's because getting that blood flowing and breathing that fresh air and getting that exercise before you go to sit down to learn or to do your job as a school student, it is to learn. And as an adult, if you're going to a job, you have all different tasks that you need to do. And so it's keeping your brain fresh and ready to go. And so that is why we are talking about parks and trails.
And just like that, Kathy, our time is up, and we did have a wonderful discussion. We had a wonderful series and talking about parks and trails, and I'm excited to get out. I'm going to go out right now. I'm going to get on my bike. Maybe I'll come across a park and a trail on the way home. So that's been a great topic to talk about. I hope people out there in Facebook and YouTube world and other social media platforms, I hope they get a lot out of that. It's important. Really, you're a part of a community that cares about your health. And this is one of the ways to be able to do that. We have transportation options that will get you there.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, you know who to ask. And come back, because we'll always have something more to talk about next week on Transportation Talk right here. Have a good weekend.
Take care, everybody.